Why is the optimal humidity for cigar tobacco not 69%? Why does Loong Shell extract better flavor from Cohiba Mini than Cohiba Robusto? Today, we're going to explore from the perspective of biochemistry and life sciences, which you've never heard before. I will use the simplest words to make the complex issues clear. You may ask, what qualifications do you have to talk about life science? Well, let me tell you that in the natural tobacco field, I'm probably the most qualified person on the net to speak about life sciences. First, let's explore why it takes so long to humidify a cigar. You don't just spray water and call it humidification. When you humidify a cigar, the water molecules pass through the cell walls of the tobacco and penetrate all parts of the tobacco. The water at this point, it's actually divided into two types, one called free water and one called bound water. Bound water is very stable and complex. So what is free water? We can think of free water as a solvent for flavor substances, which allows them to exist in solution in the tobacco. Many flavors are present in the tobacco as solids, like sugar and salt, when they are dry. It takes a long time for the water to form a solution with these flavors, because there is no one to warm them up or stir them. And these flavor substances must be dissolved before they can be extracted by the flame to produce the best flavor. How do you understand this? Let me give you a little example from life. When we put beef on the fire, it releases a very rich flavor. But when we put beef jerky on the fire, it doesn't release much flavor. So humidifying a cigar is a very long process. And it's also a process of flavor change. But for different tobaccos, the humidity requirements are different. The better the tobacco, the more moisture it needs, because good tobaccos are richer in flavor substances. Cigar tobacco is undoubtedly the finest of all tobaccos, and 69% humidity is not enough. As every Loong Shell user knows, Loong Shell requires a humidity level of 75% for cigarettes and 83% for cigars. This provides enough moisture for the cigar tobacco to release all the good flavors it has never had before. It is only in the Loong Shell that the cigar tobacco can release all its flavors and not take on responsibilities that it should not have to take on. In cigars, the tobacco is not only responsible for the flavor, but also for the fuel. The construction of a cigar is also limited by the storage and functionality constraints that prevent it from being as flexible as a Loong Shell and providing itself with enough moisture to release all its rich aromas. I have seen many people are skeptical of Loong Shell. They can't understand how Loong Shell can change the flavor of natural tobaccos with a small flame, and even make ordinary cigarettes taste sweeter. This is beyond everyone's knowledge. But what I want to say is that the things we tend to ignore and trivialize are often the most accessible and the most intimate things around us. And fire is the closest and most accessible companion throughout our entire human civilization. It's like the 300 for stainless steel that we are most familiar with in our lives. Who would have thought that it can be made into the shell of the rocket? And Elon Musk is most proud of not his electric car, not his solar panels, but his rocket with flame to Mars.